Hey everyone, it's Jason. Today we're going to do a Marvel Legendary unboxing for Revelations. This is kind of an interesting set because it is not quite a normal mini expansion because those usually have 5 heroes and 2 masterminds. This actually has 9 heroes and 3 masterminds, 4 villain groups, 2 henchmen groups. So it's like the mix between like one of the big box expansions, which have 15 heroes and 4 masterminds, and one of the small expansions. So it's going to be a little bit longer video than my other small expansion boxes of this size, but you can see I got 2 decks instead of 1. You can see on the box, you can see some of the characters that are there. It's also kind of funny, as I want to say, is it Revelations? Because they had a revelation that they missed a bunch of Avengers after all this time. This is an Avengers heavy deck set, so we have a bunch of Avengers that they missed, which we'll go through. We have some new keywords. We have Hyperspeed, represents heroes like Quicksilver and Speed who move fast. Or it can include hyperspeed flight, hypersonic cannons, and hyperfast volleys of arrows. Some hints there. So heroes that say stuff like hyperspeed 5. Reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. You get +1 attack for each card with an attack icon you revealed this way. Discard all those cards. So it's sort of a weird gamble because you get to look at X number of cards, possibly getting a bunch of attack, but then you lose all them cards. It doesn't matter what the number is, as long as there's an attack icon. So even if the attack is like 0 attack, like 0 plus, you gain an ability, you still gain it. It says right there. Hyperspeed, some cards say Hyperspeed 3 means reveal the top 3 cards and you get +1 recruit for each recruit icon. Or if it says Hyperspeed for both, you get to look for an icon. You get bullets for each icon. So basically, it's whatever hyperspeed the icon is. Next new keyword is Dark Memories. Some villains and mastermind have the keyword Dark Memories. I like villain keywords. This gets +1 attack for each hero class amongst the cards in your discard pile. Some heroes also have Dark Memories, drawing from the powers of tragedies of the past. So playing a hero with this keyword gives you the same bonus. You get +1 attack for each hero class among the cards in your discard pile. So the more different types of cards you have that are in your discard pile, you will gain better benefits, or the villains will. So basically, heroes, you'll gain better for having more cards in your discard. The villains will gain stronger if you have cards in your discard. But 1 to 5, so 1 of the 5. It doesn't matter how many, because as long as there's 1 picture in there. Double Dark Memories means double that bonus. So now here's an interesting thing. If you played Hyperspeed, like 5, discard those 5 cards, you could gain a lot of Dark Memories for your heroes. Next new ability here is Last Stand. Represents the villain ability. Some villains say Last Stand. This means it's +1 attack for each empty space in the city. So, in the city. Some other heroes also have it, so resenting how hard they fight near the end of the battle. So it gains +1 for each empty space in the city. So basically, villains, if they're by themselves, they're stronger. The heroes get stronger if they're down to taking out the last guys. If it gets down to the least amount of characters, the stronger everyone gets. Masterminds and schemes that cause city spaces not to exist does not count as an empty space. So, example, Galactus is destroying spaces. You do not get a count as destroyed spaces. But there are some that create more empty spaces. I think double Last Stand doubles your bonus. Alright, the next new thing. There's a lot of new stuff in here. Not a lot of so far no reoccurring abilities. We have Location. This is a brand new card type. Representing famous strongholds in the Marvel Universe. A location is played from the villain deck above the nearest city space that does not have a location. Villains can move through the city as normal, so it's not part of that location space. It's an extra above it. Once players' locations don't move, villains don't push them, and you can have a city space. You can have a villain in a city space that has a location above it. So basically, yeah, villains can occupy those spaces. You gain various effects for having them. You can fight locations by spending the amount listed on there, putting it in your victory pile, doing any fight locations. If a new location is played and every city is already filled, tail the location with the lowest attack to make room for it. Locations do not count as villains, so anything that mentions villains don't work with them. If it destroys a spot at the location, it destroys that location. Even if there's a location there, it's still empty because it's not a villain. Alright, so that's the basics of some other little things. And then another new thing is the double-sided transforming schemes. All the schemes in the set are double-sided. Transforming schemes start face side up as a setup. Whenever it tells you to transform, flip it over, and then use only the current side. And then there's Mandarin's range, which we'll get to. So that's interesting. This is like a mini/mega expansion. But you also have all brand new keywords. Like, oddly enough, it didn't repeat anything. Usually, even the big sets repeat at least one type of ability, just so it has some familiarity. Nope, this is all brand new stuff. I am trying to open these plastics. I am rambling over here because there's two decks. I don't know which one. Okay. Because I like to go through all my heroes first. So we have 9 heroes to go through. As you can see on the box, you can guess who some of them are. And from looking over the instructions, you can guess who some of them are. But let's actually look and see who we got here. We have Scarlet Witch. So we can create our Avengers team from the movies. Hexbolt. Player range, you can discard the top card of any player's deck. You may play a copy of that card this turn. So good if you have cards that let you stack the deck. Some other sets do. Well, as I said, that's a neat effect. Be able to play a copy of another person's turn. Not many cards have that. I'm thinking Loki from the villain set, but I can't think off the top of my head anyone else. Alter Reality, reveal a top card of your deck, discard it, or put it back. Covert, you have Dark Memories. Just gains you some extra attack for each card in there. So that way you could discard the card and gain another color in there if you need to. Chaos Magic, reveal the top card of the hero deck. You may play a copy of that card this turn. When you do, put that card on the bottom of the hero deck. So you gain a random effect, basically. This all fits with her character, just randomness, controlled randomness, kind of. Warp, Time, and Space. Reveal the top 3 cards of the hero deck, put one of them in your hand. Ooh, free cards. Put the rest on the top or bottom of the hero deck in any order. You played 3 other Avengers, you gain Dark Memories. So that's kind of neat, because at least you're getting one free card to also play. Otherwise, this is a 0 card attack. If you have Dark Memories, with 3 Avengers, that's a lot to have, because you don't gain any extra bonus. But you can put the rest on the top or the bottom of the deck. Alright, up next we have her twin brother, Pietro. With Wanda, now we have Pietro. We have Quicksilver, Too Fast to See, 3 cost, he has Hyperspeed 3 for stars, or Hyperspeed 3 for stars and attack. So yeah, he can try and get some extra speed. I think Hyperspeed's interesting but odd mechanic because it's kind of all based on luck. You don't know if you're going to gain anything or not out of it. Oh, look, another 2-cost attack for 4. This is very common in this game. Perpetual motion, hyperspeed 4. That could definitely get pretty strong for being a 4-cost. Jittery impatience. Lets you at the top card of your deck, discard it, or put it back. So that lets you kind of stack your deck a little bit. You may KO the top card of your deck. Top card you discarded this way. So if you want to get rid of something. And his big rare card, Around the World Punch. Hyperspeed. Your entire remaining deck. Wow. Don't reshuffle it. If you played 4 Avengers, before you do that, put your discard pile on the top of your deck. Oh my gosh. So basically, you played 4 Avengers, you can do every single card you have, and you gain the attack for every card you drew. So that could definitely get crazy. Bare minimum 4 probably if you've only purchased your initial shield cards. That could definitely get nuts. That's awesome. Alright, so now we have War Machine. Simulated target practice. Oh, that's a buddy for Iron Man here. You may fight a henchman from your victory pile this turn. If you do, KO it. And rescue a bystander. Do not do that henchman spike effect. Interesting. So you can take out people you've already defeated to gain extra bystanders. But you have to KO them, so you can't keep doing it repeatedly. Military Industrial Complex. Whenever you defeat a villain this turn, you gain +1 star, so you have to use that with the other one. Defeat a henchman to gain a... I wonder if henchmen are considered villains. I need to clarify that, because it's henchmen villains. I assume that they're villains, but that specifically says henchmen. This just says villain. But it might just be to differentiate, so you don't pick any villain. But you gain +1 star. Alright, where are your big guns at, War Machine? Right here. Hypersonic Tank. Hyperspeed 5. Play a range card. You may KO a card from your discard pile. Sonic Meat Boom. So again, this KOing lets you get rid of them weaker cards. And his big one, Overwhelming Firepower. Whenever you defeat a villain or mastermind, you start draw a card and rescue a bystander. Draw a card's super nice. Rescue a bystander, I'm not really sure, because he doesn't have any effects that involve bystanders. But 5 attack is pretty decent. Alright, so that was War Machine. Now let's see who we have. We have a new Avenger. We have Photon. Monica Rambeau, the friend from Captain Marvel, if you remember her from the movie. Infrared Conversion. To play this, you must discard a card, draw 2 cards. Okay, so it's like a red Magic the Gathering red draw card. You have to discard first to draw 2 cards. Ultraviolet Radiation. To play this, you must discard a card. Hyperspeed 3. Lots of discarding card effects. Because they work with this one. Light the Way. Photons. 3 attack. You get +1 attack for each card you discarded from your hand this turn. Might be able to create the Marvel Ultimates with her now. Coruscating Vengeance. 6 attack. If you had played 2 Avenger cards, she gets Last Stand. So she gets even more powerful the less amount of characters are in there. So if there's only 1 villain left, it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if there's nobody in there, you can fight the Mastermind. So that's pretty neat. We have Ronin, who I'm going to assume by the body shape is the Hawkeye Ronin, but I guess it could be Echo, but I don't think so. I believe this is just supposed to be Hawkeye. So mysterious identity. We don't know who he is. If you play this card, you may choose a color and or team icon. This card is that color and or team icon this turn instead of Covert and Avengers. That is awesome. I love that. I love that ability. Just be able to cards you can use it however you need it for that turn. We have Storm of Arrows, Hyperspeed 4. You wouldn't think arrows could reach supersonic speeds. You wouldn't think so. I love flavor text. For hyperspeed, you can draw a card. For hyperspeed, but he's only shooting 3 arrows. I kind of wish it was 3 hyperspeed. Just rambling. Here he's playing some size and some nunchucks. Haunted by Loss, Dark Memories. Many have taken the Mail of Ronin. Echo, Hawkeye, Blade, and even the Red Guardian. Who wears it now? We're not sure. Ooh. Brooding Fury, Ronin, Dark Memories, Strength Gain, Dark Memories again. Oh, so that could get pretty powerful if timed right. Now we have a different character. Obviously, it's the next character, but someone that maybe not everyone's asked from it. We have Darkhawk. Bounce the Dark Force. So he has this crystal which turns him into like a super powered guy. Draw 1 card. You play attack, otherwise it's just 1 cost, 1 recruit, 1 attack. Hawk Dive. Choose attack or recruit Hyperspeed 4 for that icon. This guy's all about choices. You get some options with him. Here's another one, and more options. Travel in null space. If the most recent hero you played this turn has a star icon, you get +3 star. If it has a strength icon, you get +3. If it has both, you get both. And I love that it's just the icons. So if you played another one of his cards who has both icons, you get 3 for each, regardless of how many actual attack it has. He'd also work well with some of them, like Captain America from the Captain America expansion. Warflight, his rare card. Never use Hyperspeed this turn. You gain both stars from star icons and attack from attack icons. Hyperspeed 7. If you played 2 tech, Hyperspeed 9. Ooh, that could definitely be big. I like those the Hyperspeed. It's a very interesting ability because it could be super powerful, but it could also be really terrible. It's a huge gamble. Here we have. I can't wait to play to see how often you hit little or you hit high, or if it's generally just always in the middle of the road. Now we have Hellcat, who you might, if you watch the TV series, Jessica Jones. This is Patsy Walker. So we have cat-like agility. Choose 1, draw a card, or you gain +1 attack. There's 2 cost attack though, or card, so like low cost characters are always nice. Part-time PI. Reveal the top card of any deck. If it is not a Steam Twist, you may put it on the bottom of that deck. Choose 1, draw a card, or you get +1 star. So she lets you draw cards if you play other instant cards. Demon Sight. Guess villain, bystander, strike, or twist. Then reveal the top card of the villain deck. You guessed right, get +2. If you have an Avengers card, if it was a villain, you may fight it this turn. Oh, that's cool, because I mean, it might work well with this one. Reveal the top card of any deck. If it's not Steam, you may put it on the bottom of the deck. So you could look at the top card, be like, aha, it's a bystander, or it's a villain, and then you could play this card right afterwards and know what you're fighting against. I love synergy between cards. And then her rare card is Second Chance at Life. If a Master Strike or Steam Twist would occur, you may discard this card from your hand instead. If you do, draw 3 cards, then shuffle that strike or twist back into the deck. Okay, I love that it shuffles them back in there, and you get 3 cards. So basically 6 or 3 extra cards, but you get just avoid those, especially since I've almost lost the entire game just from drawing some of them by accident. Not accident, but like, oh, if I draw that card, I'm gonna be screwed. So it'd be neat to have a way to get rid of it. So now we have speed. We're getting closer to having all of our young Avengers. We just need Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, and Stature to have the original Avengers. And then the second team, we need Norvar and Kid Loki. And crap, what's his name? The X-Men character, I don't remember. Alright, anywho. Tangent. Speed has Accelerate. Hyperspeed 2 instead Hyperspeed 6. So it's kind of be like I think a lesser power version of Quicksilver, but he's also going to have more risks. So speedy delivery. The next hero you recruit this turn goes on top of your deck. So that could work well with your hyperspeed. Race to the rescue. Choose a hero class. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a hero class you named, draw it. Otherwise, put it back on the top or bottom. So this works well with this other one that lets you put one on there so you know what you're going to draw. Or it lets you set up for hyperspeed. And then we have Break the Sound Barriers. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck. Draw 2 of them. Put the rest back on the top or bottom in any order. Awesome. So he gets 2 cards regardless, and then you can decide what you want to put back. Works well with his hyperspeed then right away. Hyperspeed 6. Alright. And then the very last character in this set is not an Avenger. It is Captain Marvel, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And you might be asking why they included one random S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, S.H.I.E.L.D. team member in a set full of Avenger cards. They did it because the set that came after this is the S.H.I.E.L.D. set. So she works really well with that S.H.I.E.L.D. set. It's almost like they stuck her in here by accident, and they meant to put her in the next set, and they didn't because that set only has 4 characters. So if you move her to that set now has 5 characters. I know it only has 4 because it has all the special S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. This is already going to be a bigger set. But basically, if you put her in that to include her with the other S.H.I.E.L.D. characters, she's going to work really well with them, I believe. But let's see what she does. The Sword of S.H.I.E.L.D. So she has, if you play 4 of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, you draw a card. So mixing it with this deck, it's going to be really hard to play a bunch of S.H.I.E.L.D. cards except for early on because you only have your starter characters. But again, if you mixed it in a deck that had all S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, you're going to hit that pretty much every turn. Radiant Blast. If you drew any extra cards this turn, gain +1 attack. She has Dominate the Battlefield, Last Stand. So she's the last one. Less spaces on the field. This card will get a lot stronger. And her final one is Higher, Further, Faster. Choose one. Draw 3 cards or Last Stand. Instead, do both. The other reason why she works really well in the other S.H.I.E.L.D. set is because she has strength cards. And there was only like one other character that had 1 strength card in that set. Which again, feels like she almost should have been in that set instead. I don't know if someone accidentally put her in this set or if that was a planned thing. Let's look at some Masterminds here. We got to find them first. Because I always put the villains on top. But I want to do the Masterminds first. And that's a henchman's. Okay. Alright, we're gonna start out with the Mandarin, the box villain. Alright, so the Mandarin he leads Mandarin's Rings, which is a henchman group instead of a villain group, and you'll see why in a moment. All Mandarin Rings get +1, so they're all stronger when he's playing with them. Mandarin gets -1 for each Mandarin Ring among all players' victory piles. So basically, as you buy his cards, he gets weaker. I believe there's 10 of them, so bring them down to 6 if you bought all 10 of them, or taken all 10. Each player chooses a Mandarin ring from their victory pile to enter the city. Any player who doesn't have a ring gains a wound instead. Then we have an epic version. So look at this. This is ridiculous. He goes from 16 to 26. I get that they gain +1, -1. So instead they gain +2, so they're harder to kill, which makes them obvious because it's epic. But they also get -2 for each one, so it effectively works the same. But it's going to take longer to take them out. But his Master Strike's the same. So each player who doesn't have enters the city, player didn't have a ring gains a wound on top of their deck instead. So this one just says gains a wound, so it goes to their discard. This forces it on top of their deck. So Mandarin is kind of a dick, which makes sense. Circles Unbroken. Fight. Draw a card for each Mandarin ring in your victory pile. So that's helpful, the 5 rings of Mandarin. Intertwining Power. Each other player without at least 2 Mandarin rings in their victory pile gains a wound. Rings seek their true hand. Each other player reveals a tech hero because of Iron Man, War Machine, or puts a Mandarin ring from their victory pile into the escape pile. And Dragon of the Heaven Spaceship. Alright, so this says, fight. If this was not already a location, KO up to 2 heroes, K up to 2 of your heroes, and this card enters the city as a location with the ability. Okay, so this will become a location. Whenever you fight a villain here, each other player reveals their hand and KOs one of their non-gray heroes. So you fight a villain at that location, they have to KO a hero. If you fight him to beat him, you KO up to 2 heroes. So someone's going to be sacrificing heroes. But he only takes 9 to take out. So that's interesting. Alright, let's take a quick look. I only got a few minutes left in my video, so let's look at his rings. We have Daimonic, the White Light. You get a fight him, you draw a card. Incandescent, the Flame Blast. You may KO a card from your discard pile. Influence, the Impact Beam. You get 1 star. Liar, the Mental Intensifier, which is the top card of a player's deck. Say is it good or bad. That player chooses it to put in their discard pile or their discard pile. It's a weird way to word that, but I get it. Lightning, the Electroblast. Reveal the top card of your deck. You may KO it. Nightbringer, the Black Light. Reveal the top 3 cards of the villain deck. You may defeat a villain you revealed worth 2 VP or less. Do its fight effect. Put the rest back in any order. Remaker, the Matter Rearranger. You may choose a card from your hand or discard pile. The player on your right puts it in their hand. Spectral, the Disintegrator Beam. KO one of your heroes. Spin, the Vortex Beam. Reveal the top 6 cards of your discard. Discard all of them that have 0 cost and put the rest back in any order. And 0 of the Ice Blast. Choose a card you play this turn that costs 0 when you draw a new hand of cards. Add that card to your hand as an extra card. Yeah, so most henchmen groups have all the same cards. The Mandarin has 10 different cards, each with different abilities. So it's going to be fun just to include as your regular henchman, not even with the Mandarin, just to get some different effects in there. because they all still only cost 3, except when they fight with him, then they're 4 or 5, depending on if it's epic or not. Okay, our next mastermind is the Hood. Robbie Parks, I believe. Remember my comic book characters, right? So he has dark memories, so he's going to gain bonuses for every color character you have in your discard pile. He leads the Hood's gang, which makes sense. Each player reveals the top 6 cards of their deck, discards all non-gray heroes revealed this way, and puts the rest back in any order. So it might not seem terrible unless you're trying to stack your deck. But basically it's attempting to make him more powerful. His epic version is, instead of a 9, it's a 10. So he's probably like maybe your weaker villain of this group. We're going to find out. Double dark memories. Each player discards their deck, then shuffles 6 random gray cards from their discard pile to form their new deck. Wow. So it went from reveal 6 cards, discard all non-gray heroes, so you might have less, and then put the rest back, to discard everything, and then if you have 6 gray cards, they become your deck. Wow, that is, I love it. It's incredibly devastating. Who we have? Demonic Revelation. Fight. Each other player reveals their hand and discards a non-gray hero, so he likes to just make you discard stuff. Focus Magic through guns. Each other player reveals a covert hero or discards a card. Then each other player reveals a tech hero or gains a wound. Interesting. Paying to Dormammu, actually gives him his power. Fight. Each other player discards their deck. Oh boy. And then here's his location. The Hood's Warehouse. Fight. If this is not your location, rescue 4 bystanders. Enters the city as a location. As a location, the Hood's Warehouse. When you fight a villain here, play another villain from the deck. So you really want to take out these locations as quickly as possible. Alright, who is in the Hood's gang? Is the question, right? The Brothers Grimm. To fight the Brothers Grimm, you must also discard 2 identical cards. KO a card from your discard pile. Actually, it's not terribly strong, but you have to KO 2 cards. Or discard 2 cards, but it could be 2 shield cards. We have Cancer. But it's based off the Zodiac symbol, not just a guy that has cancer. Dark Memories. Ambush. Each player that has any cards in their discard pile gains a wound. Especially with the Hood discarding your deck all the time. That's probably going to happen. So got 2 of him. We have Chemistro. I love this. It lets you get some B-level villains in here. Dark Memory. Fight. Exchange a card you played this turn with a card in HQ that has the same or lower cost. The card you gain goes to the discard pile. So you play the card, gain the effect, and then you get to trade it for something a different turn. Okay. Madame Mystique. Dark Memories. Ambush. Guess the villain. Bystander, strike, or quiz. Reveal the top card of the villain deck. If you guessed wrong, play that card. KO one of your heroes. Okay, that's a mean effect. And then he has the Dark Dimension location. Now these guys have green borders, so you can tell them apart. Whenever villains here have Dark Memories, villains who already have it gain the bonus of getting a double Dark Memory. Fight. Take another turn after this one. That's interesting. Just for beating that, you gain a free turn. Which I say free, but to play an extra turn, you actually have to play another villain, so it's not really free. Here we have Grim Reaper. And now if we get the Ant-Man set, you'll have Simon Williams, Wonder Man, so he can fight his brother here. Kind of weird that he wasn't in there, but I think Ant-Man came out quite a ways before this, so Grim Reaper has +1 for each location card in the city. Alright, so that'll be interesting. Lethal Legion. Master Strike. This strike enters the city as a 7 attack graveyard location that says this gets +2 while there's a villain here. So every time he plays a strike, he gets a 7 cost location, and then he gains +1 for that location. His epic, he goes from 8 to 9, gains +2 for each location. So he might not be bad as long as you can keep those locations down. But these strikes are going to be a pain. Enters an 8 graveyard location instead of 7. Gets +3 while there's a villain here. If there's at least 3 location cards in the city, each player gains a wound. Alright, so this is probably going to give us more locations here. Yes, his tactics are Carnival of Concussions. It's now a location, it enters a location with this ability. Whenever you fight a villain here, each other player kills a bystander from their victory pile. So that's minor. Cult of Skulls. Location says whenever you fight a villain here, each other player reveals their hand and discards a non-gray card. Lower hands always suck. Maze of Bones. If there's now a location, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, KO any number of them, and put the rest back in any order. Then this becomes your location. Whenever you fight a villain here, each other player gains a wound. They'll cost 8. Prisoner of Coffins. This is not a location. You get +5 stars and then enters a location. When you fight a villain here, each other player puts a villain from their victory pile into the escape pile. So all 4 of his tactics become villains. His master strikes become locations. Not villains, but locations. His master strikes become locations. And he gains 1 for every location. Okay. Draw 3 cards. I didn't see it get other effects. Take out the 2 cards in your discard pile. Yeah, he could get abusive pretty fast. Because every time you get a master strike or a tactic, you beat him, he's just going to get more powerful. Here's the Lethal Legion. We have Swordsman. Swordsman gets +3 while there is a carnival location in play. Oh, imagine that. He gets to make a carnival location. Swordsman and each location in the city capture a bystander, so your locations will also have bystanders. Oh, look, and we have another location here. Carnival of Wonders. When you fight a villain here, each other player chooses a bystander from their victory pile to be captured by the Carnival of Wonders. So there's 2 carnivals in this game. We have Power Man, Eric Jostin. Not to be confused with Power Man Luke Cage. Eric Jostin also becomes Atlas from the Thunderbolts, who they haven't made playable characters yet. Power Man gets +3 when there is a prison location in play. Escape. Each other player puts a villain from their victory pile into the escape pile or gains a wound. Look at this. He also creates a prison. So he has 2 different tactic cards that help these out. And look, we have the Raft Prison. Whenever you fight a villain here, each other player puts a villain from their victory pile into the escape pile or gains a wound. I really hope they make more of these location cards. This could be interesting to throw them into different decks. We have M'Baku, Black Panther villain. Gets +3 while there's a cult location in the city. Each player reveals their hand, discards a tech card. Same effect. So we have our prison, our carnival, and look. We have a cult. So he has one that helps him, and I'm going to guess, oh yes, it's the White Gorilla cult. When you fight a villain here, each other player reveals their hand and discards a card. And then we have Living Laser, who gets +3 whenever there's a maze location. Fight, each player reveals a ranged hero or gains a wound, same effect. And we also have a maze. So he has 4 villains, 4 tactics that can help each one, plus they also have a location. So these guys could all potentially get 6 attack, which is nuts. So we have Laser Maze. Whenever you fight a villain here, each other player reveals a ranged hero or gains a wound. So that is Grim Reaper and the Lethal Legion. Alright, so we have 2 other villain groups. We don't have any more Masterminds to go with them, but they gave us some extra villains to do. So we have the Army of Evil. So we have Blackout. Each player reveals 4 range. Each player reveals a ranged hero or discards a card. You fight him, you draw 2 cards. So that's not so bad. We have Claw, another Black Panther villain. Kind of wish Black Panther is in this set now. We only got 2 versions of him. One with Storm and one that's part of the Illuminati. So I kind of hope they make a Black Panther that's, I don't know, either a Black Panther team or just a straight up Avenger by himself. Anywho, Claw, Ambush Claw captures a tech or ranged hero that costs 5 or less from the HQ. I think Claw, or Black Panther, though, would have to have range and tech cards. We have Mr. Hyde. Well, in the banks or streets, this card's name is Dr. Kelvin Zabo. You must spend recruit stars to fight him instead of attack. KO one of your heroes. He can go up against Quake. Then have Count Nefaria. Ambush. All players reveal their hands unless all those revealed cards together include all 5 class type heroes. Each player gains a wound. Same effect. That's pretty cool. And then they have a location. The Dome of Dark Force. Whenever you fight a villain here, each other player reveals a ranged hero or discards a card. Fight, draw 2 cards. So that looks like that goes with Blackout here, because I think that looks like who's in the middle there. It's the same type of effect. Fight him, draw 2 cards, reveal. So that looks like that's sort of his location. And then our last group of villains are the Dark Avengers. So we have Dark Spider-Man, who is actually Mac guarding the Scorpion. He has double last stand. He gains 2 attack per each empty space in the city. Which makes him, I love that he has 2 costs to start with and 2 victory points, because all the Spider-Man cards usually have 2s. So it kept the theming even through the villain. Reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, KO one of them that costs 2 or less, put the rest back in any order. We have Captain Marvel Norvar, who we need a hero version for our Young Avengers set. Last Stand, Ambush. If any other Dark Avengers are in the city, each player gains a wound. We have Dark Miss Marvel, who is Moonstone. Last Stand, each other player discards 2 cards, then draws a card. Dark Hawkeye, who is Bullseye. Last Stand, fight, KO one of your heroes, then choose one. Each other player KOs one of their heroes, or each other player gains a 0-cost hero from the KO pile. Dark Wolverine, who's Dakin, Wolverine's son. Last Stand, Ambush, each player reveals a instant hero or gains a wound. Same effect, then shuffle Dark Wolverine back into the villain's deck. Don't let him escape. Ares, he does not have an alternate dark thing. Surprised they didn't have like a Norman Osborn villain for this set then. Last Stand, KO one of your heroes. Just straight up Ares, just a big beefy guy. Finally, we have Sentry, the Dark Avenger. Well, in the bank or streets, this card's name is the Void. It gets +5 attack. Fight, KO up to 2 cards from your discard pile. Escape. Each player gains a wound. And then the location, we have Sentry's Watchtower. Villains here get last stand. Villains who already have it gain the bonus again. So, they all gain double last stand. Except for Spider-Man, who would gain triple last stand. Fight, you gain the heroes and you gain the hero in the HQ space under this. Alright. That is some cool villains, some different heroes. But that is not all we have. We, of course, have our Steam twists, which we have to go through. We have the Korvac Saga, it's a popular Avengers storyline. Each player must discard down to 4 cards or KO a bystander from their victory pile to search for the Korvac entity, then transform this Steam. Transforms, it says Steam transformed on the back. It says Korvac revealed. Special rule. Does it say setup on this side? Yep, setup. Okay. Special rule. This Steam counts as a 19 attack Korvac villain worth 9 VP. If you defeat Korvac, KO the Mastermind in all its tactics. Interesting. Twist 2, 4, and 6. Each player discards an Avenger hero or gains a wound. This Steam transforms. 8 evil wings. So, whenever I gain a twist, you discard down to 4 cards or KO a bystander from their victory pile to search for it, and then you flip them over. So when you get it, you flip them over, but then on every other Steam, he's going to transform back. So every other Steam twist you get, you have to try and beat him. Alright, so that's different. That's interesting. The House of M storyline, which to Scarlet Witch probably. Hero deck is 4 X-Men heroes and 2 non-X-Men heroes, or substitute other team for all X-Men heroes on both sides. So if you don't have or don't want to do 4 X-Men, you could do 4 Avengers and 2 non-Avengers, or 4 Avengers and 2 X-Men, or however you want to do it, just as long as they're the same amount. They think they just list that because if you're playing the base set and this set, you wouldn't have any X-Men. You might not have enough X-Men characters. Or ones you want to use. Add 14 Scarlet Witch heroes to the villain deck. Special rule. Each Scarlet Witch in the city is a villain with attack equal to its cost +3. If you fight one, gain it as a hero. Twist. KO non-X-Men heroes from the HQ. If there are at least 2 Scarlet Witch cards in play, the Steam transforms. Otherwise, play another card from the villain deck. When it transforms, we have no more mutants. So basically, it's just saying, KO all non-X-Men heroes from the HQ, which includes Scarlet Witch. If there are at least, or one includer, sorry. If there are at least 2 Scarlet Witch in the city, the Steam transforms. So if you don't want this to transform, make sure you take out them Scarlet Witches. Special, each Scarlet Witch in the city gains, has +4, so they gain 1 more attack, right? From 3 to 4, yep. Twist, though, if you gain a twist now, you KO all X-Men heroes in the HQ, play another villain. When the number of non-gray heroes in the KO pile is 10+, double the number of players. So this one's just going to KO the non-X-Men characters. But if you end up having to transform it, you're going to get rid of all the X-Men, which there's a lot more of. So that's different. That's cool. Here we have Earthquake drains the ocean. Add an extra villain group. Well, there are two extra low tide city spaces on the left side of the city, so it has 7 spaces total. Okay. Twist: the tide rushes in, transform the Steam. Evil wings and 3 villains per player have escaped, or the villain deck runs out. So we transform it. We have tsunami crushes the coast. The low tide, the bridge, and the street city spaces no longer exist. The city has 3 spaces total. So it'd be sewers, rooftops, and banks. Put the Steam on the streets to mark the edge of the map, edge of the city. The villains in destroyed city spaces escape starting from left. So this flips if you let potentially 4 characters go. Twist, the tide rushes out. The steam transform, then play another card from the villain deck. When 3 villains per player have escaped or the deck runs out. So when you get another twist, it goes back out. You're back up to 7 spaces. Then it flips. They can fill back up. Flips over. All of them guys get a leave. It's kind of interesting. And then we have Secret Hydra Corruption. 30 officers in the Shield officer stack. Are there even that many? I'm not sure. 1 player, 7 twists. 2 player, 2 to 3, 9 twists. Okay, 4 to 5 players, 11 twists. Special officers in the stacked. Next to the scheme are Hydra sympathizers with. You may pay 3 recruit to have the player of your choice gain 1 as a hero. For each twist in the KO pile, including this one, put a card from the Shield officer stack next to the scheme. Transform it. Open Hydra Revolution. Officers next to scheme are 3 attack Hydra traitor villains. When you fight one, return to the officer stack and KO one of your heroes. Twist, for each twist in the KO pile, including this one, put a card from the Shield officer stack next to the scheme, and then if evil has not won yet, transform it. There are 15 officers stacked next to the scheme, or the Shield deck runs out. Okay, so that's cool. That's interesting. Are there even 30 cards in that deck? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are 30. I only have 29. So either I miscounted or I'm missing one. But if you get the Shield set, which came after this, it also adds another, I think, like, I want to say 10 or 12 extra Shield officers in the form of Shield agents. So that's kind of cool. Now we have some special bystanders, because we can always use more of these. So you have a rocket test pilot. When you rescue this bystander, choose recruiter attack and hyperspeed, 3 for that icon. A neat way to get hyperspeed and get every single set. We have Dog Show Judge. Whenever you rescue this bystander, each player reveals the top card of their deck. Judge one of those cards to be the best in show. That player draws that card. So let every character, letting someone get a card. And then we have Lawyer with She-Hulk. When you rescue this bystander, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Draw each of them that have at least 10 words of rule text. Put the rest back in any order. Numerals, icons, and punctuation don't count. Interesting. It's a weird card, but again, I would rather have a deck full of special bystanders than just regular ones that don't do anything. So that was a doubly long video for Legendary Revelations. Add definitely some awesome more Avengers. The couple new bystanders, some new locations, some new cards. Hope you guys liked it. Check out the rest of my videos. Bye. Hey, quick add-on to the very end of this video. I realized while I was sorting through cards, I forgot to talk about the Hydra-based Henchman location. The Revelation set, as we just seen in the video, has a bunch of locations. So this is a Henchman version. So you get, I only have 2 of them here, but you get all 10 like a normal Henchman. They're included in as a Henchman group if you want. But instead of being just regular villains, they sit up on top like the regular locations. It says Hydra-based, it's +2 attack. Well, there is a hero, or well, there's a villain here, and you have to fight him to KO one of your heroes. So it's the only henchman. Well, it's one of the few henchmen that only have 2 attack. I think there's like one other one. It's not a 3, but that one I think does something that gets you to +1. So this actually can be up to 4 if there's a villain there. But yeah, it's kind of a neat little different henchman you can throw in your group. Toss them in there. You know, you place one of the henchmen, or maybe if you just want to make the game, I want to say a little bit easier, because then it just sits there. It doesn't empower any of the villains or anything. unless they have something that says, well, they're at a location, like a general location. But then you get a free 2 to 4 thing you do attack to get rid of some of your gray heroes. So I caught that right at the end. I just wanted to make sure I pointed it out so you knew all the cards in the set. See you later. Bye.